Hey,
Hello.
welcome to the Tulsa World's weekly scene podcast. We are joined by Grace Wood
Hello.
and myself, Jimmie Tramel. We're minus James Watts for one more week, or at least for today. Then he'll be back with us tomorrow. We've missed James during our last two podcasts. This is where we talk about, well, whatever we want to talk about in pop culture or entertainment. Or lifestyles, and also maybe just kind of promote or pitch what we're working on this week. Grace, normally we do homework to figure out what we've written this week. Just hit me cold with what you got this week. What do you got for me this week?
Okay. So I don't have a feature story for World of Homes this week, but I do have a cool story that might pique your interest. Sterling Harjo, who is the director of the show Reservation Dogs, created a documentary called Turtleton. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay, so it's centered around a small town in Oklahoma called Turtleton, which faced a huge tragedy when, in the summer of 1985, 1/4 of their community was killed in a tragic explosion at a local fireworks factory. And the documentary kind of explores how this community dealt with that loss and how they found the resilience to rebuild and move forward. And the story of Turtleton came on Sterling's radar after he posted on Instagram asking for ideas for set locations for Reservation Dogs. And the owner of Mercury Lounge, Bobby Dean Orcutt, messaged Sterling back about the small town called Turtleton and just like the events that happened there, because he has family from there. And the two of them got together and collaborated, and they took a trip to Turtleton. And then from there, Sterling decided that he wanted to make the documentary about the town and the events that have happened there, which have been called the worst industrial accident in Oklahoma history. So it's a really important story to be told. So this Sunday on July 3rd, Circle Cinema is hosting a screening of the documentary, as well as a meet and greet with the filmmakers beforehand. I believe it starts at 7 p.m. And since Bobby Dean is also running for city council in District 4, he'll be at the event too, and he'll be hosting a voter registration drive. So it'll just be a good opportunity, for people to learn a little bit more about Oklahoma history and as well as participate in local government. So I think it's going to be a really cool thing. And this story will come out either Friday or Saturday, I think, in the scene section of Tulsa World. So that's what I'm working on.
I love Sterling's series Reservation Dogs about the native kids in Oklahoma. And but I haven't seen anything else by Sterling. However, seeing Reservation Dogs makes me want to watch anything and everything he's ever done or going to do, because I just enjoy Reservation Dogs so much.
Yeah, I haven't seen Reservation Dogs actually. I feel like these days I just don't really have enough time to like fully watch TV, but I definitely want to check it out. And I definitely really want to check this documentary out because apparently it's really, really good and really impactful. So I think it'll be a really interesting screening that's happening.
Do you ever do that with any filmmakers or authors or anything? Like, I like this thing this person did, so I'm going to go back and just feast on everything this person has ever done.
Yeah, I definitely did that with Quentin Tarantino. The first time I think Kill Bill was the first movie I saw, and probably saw it a little bit too young, but I really loved it. So then I watched everything else and was blown away. So
I had a conversation with Danny O'Connor from The Outsider's House earlier this week. We feel like the Tulsa filmmaker John Swab is going to be the same way. And right now he's making movies in Tulsa that seem to be of high quality that I enjoy, but he's not, I guess he hasn't like blown up nationally yet. And it feels like as soon as he's discovered nationally, everybody's going to go back and watch every movie that John Swab has ever made. It came up because Scott Kahn from Hawaii Five-0 was in town and visited The Outsider's House and other locations the other day. And I was fortunate to kind of just be around when that happened. So that was a really neat deal. And I always look forward to John Swab's movies and looking forward to anything Sterling Harjo does. And his teammate on Reservation Dogs, help me pronounce this. Is it Taika? How do you pronounce it? We'll just say in print. I can spell it, but Taika Waititi?
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's right. Watiti, maybe.
Sorry, we're not used to pronouncing things in print, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But he's got Love and Thunder, the new Thor movie coming out
Hmm.
next week. So
Yeah.
I'd cross my fingers and hope to get him on the phone before Love and Thunder came out because of the Reservation Dogs connection, but it didn't quite work out. We do have another interview coming up at some point, though, with Dallas Goldtooth, who plays the spirit in Reservation Dogs. So not quite yet. On down the road. More so this week, I'm all about the music. On either Friday or Sunday, we'll see how things go. There's a new documentary series called Women of Rock, and it's a 4-part documentary series exploring all the significant female music artists through the years. And if you want to watch it just for local angles, you got Bam Bam, St. Vincent, and Wanda Jackson almost immediately in the documentary series. So, and then St. Vincent, Annie Clark was one of the interview subjects. So she pops up in every episode talking about other artists like Blondie or so on and so forth. But I saw 3 of the 4 episodes, and I mean, it's really good. I recommend it. Why it hasn't been done before, I don't know. But you have a favorite female rocker of all time?
Ooh, that is a great question. I love St. Vincent just because of the local connection. And she also made some good music for the Twilight soundtrack, which is a film that I love. And I think other than that, though, I always come back to Stevie Nicks because I just love her so much, love everything about her. Her style, her just overall vibe is just really distinct and unique. So that's probably my favorite, but who's yours?
Yeah. Well, no surprise, other female artists gush about Stevie Nicks in this documentary series, of course. I don't know who the favorite would be. It is tough to pick only one because there's been many good ones. It's more poppy. I really did enjoy the Bangles in the '80s and Susanna Hoffs. In fact, at one point during American Legion baseball season, when I worked the paper in Pryor, I was in charge of the music that goes out over the loudspeaker between innings. And I'm sure they felt like they got way too many Bengals songs, including some that don't quite go with sports, like Eternal Flame, that doesn't really get you pumped up to go play, maybe. But hey, if you're in charge of the music, you don't apologize. You just play what you want and you go for it.
Exactly. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to the Bangles. What's a song that you think I should check out?
Well, Manic Monday was written for them by Prince. He wrote the song and said, "Here, have this."
Oh, I think I have heard that song. Yeah. Okay.
But like they're more poppy. There are more female artists who tend to quote unquote rock, like Anna Nancy Wilson from Heart, Joan Jett. But so many, and I would recommend the documentary for anyone who wants to get caught up on all these. Also, music-wise, Friday or Sunday, do you listen to American Top 40?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
It was more of a thing for me a long time ago. I don't listen to American Top 40 currently because I'm old. I do love listening to the vintage replays of a couple decades ago. And it's fun not just to hear the hits, because we hear the hits all the time, but here's this song at number 38 that you haven't heard in forever because it just didn't catch fire like the other songs. But I don't know if people know this. 4th of July weekend's coming up, right? We've all got 4th of July plans. American Top 40 was born on the 4th of July in 1970, which gives me an alibi, a crutch or excuse to write about American Top 40. We can say, hey, 4th of July weekend, here comes your 4th of July American Top 40 story. So I just did some research about American Top 40 through the years. And, 2 Tulsa artists showed up in the countdown, the very, very first American Top 40 broadcast when only 7 stations had enlisted for that. Here's a really funny thing is when American Top 40 thought a song had questionable content, even though it was, probably pretty tame stuff, they would send memos to all the radio stations around saying, when this song comes on, you might want to bleep it out because, Paul Simon might say in Kodachrome, when I think of all the crap I learned in high school, watch out for these salty lyrics here. But it was purely a nostalgia story from my standpoint, and only because the 4th of July is coming up did I get to write about American Top 40. Anything else you got coming up or want to promote or want to talk about this week, Grace?
I don't think I have anything coming up for this week other than that story I just told you, but I do have a couple things in the works for next week, so I'll definitely be chatting about that next Wednesday.
So we definitely have to keep that a secret until next week. We don't want somebody, you say it, somebody will do the story before you, so you can't do that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, this podcast is available wherever podcasts are sold or purchased or accessed or anything else. Grace, get us out of here.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Behave.
Bye.